Now, World Children's Day is United Nations Children's Fund's annual day of action for children by children, marking the adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. It is a global annual day of action for children by children and provides children the opportunity to discuss issues that matter to them and demand adults to take action to secure their future. This year, the focus is on a rally for a healthy planet for every child. According to the Children's Climate Risk Index, Nigeria is among the top 3 countries worldwide where children are at highest risk from the effects of climate change. Some long-term consequences of climate change include food shortages, hunger, malnutrition, and displacements. Hence, an urgency for collaborative efforts to address climate change for the well-being of Nigerian children. Now joining us on the news is Olumide Idowu, Executive Director, International Climate Change Development Initiative, to discuss this. Good afternoon, Olumide, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
So can you give us a brief introduction as to UNICEF's World Children's Day and what it is all about?
Yeah, thank you very much. As we all know that this year, International Children's Day has called a good to action for everybody to understand that the impact of climate change is real when it comes to children. And it has also shown to us that it is time for us to take children's matter very important. And that is why it happens every year that the UNICEF actually use that opportunity to celebrate, to take action, and to make urgent contribution to the problem that young people are facing. And as what we see this year is something that is looking at how they seek action against climate change and how the effect of climate change is happening to them. And when we look at it very well, climate change is actually having an increasingly significant impact on children in diverse ways. But a lot of people don't put attention to all these issues. That's why you see the earth-related issues, natural disaster. When it happens, majority of these children are affected. If you look at the issue of the Gaza conversation that is going on, you see a lot of children have been affected, a lot of mental health problems, education have been interrupted, and a lot of diverse of issues have happened to them. Even food and water insecurity has caused a lot of problems for the growth of the children. A lot of children are actually facing these consequences day in, day out, and that is why it's important for us to put the children at heart and develop their impact when it comes to issue of solving problem and seeing the effect of climate change in their life. Thank you.
All right, Olumide, Nigeria has been listed as amongst the top 3 countries worldwide where children, are at highest risk from the effects of climate change. Now, in what ways does climate change exacerbate the existing social inequalities and vulnerabilities among children, especially in terms of access to education, healthcare, and other basic necessities?
Yeah, thank you very much. There's no hidden truth about the statistics or the numbers out there about Nigeria being one of the prone country when it comes to the issue of children and climate change. And like I said the other time, I mentioned the education interruption, and this is in the area of heavily affected by children by climate change. It has really heavily affected, even in Nigeria, exactly. Children's education can be disrupted when this issue of climate change is affecting the children. And due to school that is can close, and even displacement can cause the extreme weather event. So it's something that a lot of people don't put attention. But when it comes to us, it looks as if we are not prepared. You look at you talk about the mental health issues, even in Nigeria, both parents that are even taking care of these children, their children might also actually face what we call emotional distress, because when this kind of issue happen to them, they are disconnected from their friends, they are disconnected from their classrooms, they are disconnected from their teachers, and the anxiety comes to see that there's a need for awareness, and the experience of these climate-related issues need to start taking center stage so that every of these children should understand the issue of natural disaster. So it is very, very important that we look at this area as an area that is getting so much to the, to the impact of the children.
All right,
and we can
Olumide.
start looking at.
Olumide, you've actually spoken generally some of these challenges that you've actually mentioned, but can you outline the specific risks and dangers posed by climate change that are unique to the children in Nigeria, that are peculiar to the children in Nigeria? And also, can you tell us what measures are being taken to protect them from these threats?
Okay, so I will still go back. The risk that is happening now is that if young people in Nigeria present, let us give ourselves an example. Let us use the flooding that happened some years back in Kogi State. Every children were affected. And like I said, it has made them to be displaced from one location to another location. It has taken them away from their education. That is one of the biggest threats that is causing to children. It has caused a lot of natural disaster, which has also taken the children away from the kind of activities they see themselves. It has increased frequent urgent issue, like due to climate change, and they have been displaced, loss of life from different children, trauma, and even the issue of children not being able to get the understanding of what is happening to them, because most of them don't know how to prepare for this. Even their guardians don't know how to prepare for this. And when you look at the Nigerian government, what they are doing concerning the children and climate change, just 3 days ago, a document was just being launched about the actions, how Nigeria needs to take action on climate change and how the government, each state government, are responding to climate change. And the children issue was one of the biggest issues that was shared. Inequality and the impact of climate change that extend beyond not only children, but impacting their guardians that's supposed to take care of them is also one of the biggest problems. So the solution that we need to start taking is that how do we take care of the children to make sure that there's preparedness for them when this issue of climate change is happening? Can we also look at climate education? Young children also need to understand climate education so that they will be able to know the effect, the impact that is causing on them. Young people need to start considering the issue of this vulnerability. Government need to start looking at the vulnerability people, that this issue grow developmental problems. And if they don't look at all those things, then the children will not be able to have a conducive atmosphere, a conducive platform for them to be able to understand the impact of climate change. And even when this issue is coming to them, they'll be able to also understand how to prepare for it. I think is a conversation of education, conversation of development, and conversation of collaboration between the government and the people that are at the receiving end. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much for enlightening us on this particular issue. Olumide Idowu, Executive Director, International Climate Change Development Initiative. Thank you so much for also discussing this.
Thank you.